Hi guys, welcome back to Anita Crochets. My name is Anita. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this boho-inspired mesh skirt. It's very simple. I have been making quite a number of projects with the mesh stitch, and this is like the skirt tutorial. I have a shorts tutorial, I have a unisex shirt tutorial, but let's dive into what we need for this tutorial and see that we can make this skirt as well. So I'm going to be working with this size 2 yarn. It's 50 grams and it's 4-ply. I'm going to be using 1 strand. Then I have a 4.5 millimeter hook, a pair of scissors, tape measure if you need one, but I have made the written pattern for this skirt available on all my online shops, and it includes sizes small, medium and large. So this is one of the panels we are going to be making. I already have one made, and I'm going to be taking you through how to make one of these. As you can see, the bottom hem is like curvy, like you see it, and then we have vertical stripes. All right, so let's get started so we can see how to make this, but let me just take measurements for you. That we are going to have our foundation chains, and the length of our foundation chains is literally from top to bottom. So measure yourself and see where you want your skirt to end. Just make sure that the length is from your waist all the way slightly below your hips, okay? And then the width, like you can see, my skirt was in position to fit a size small and medium. So this tutorial is going to be for that size. If you want a bigger size, you're just going to add a few more rows on each panel of like every color, just like 1 or 2 rows for every color, so you can like get some bit of width to give you more coverage if you're working for a size large, but everything else is going to stay the same. Okay, so to start off, I have my kid. My baby is really disturbing. Yeah, to start off, I'm going to make a slip knot just like this, and I'm going to get my hook and place it into the loop, and I'm going to work a total of 70 chains. Now the number of foundation chains should be any number that is divisible by 2. All right, so any number in multiples of 2 is okay. If you want more length for your skirt, then you can work maybe 80 chains, 90 chains, 84, 94. Any number that is divisible by 2 is okay to start with. All right, so I personally worked 70 chains. I'm going to let you guys work your chains, then get back and show you what to do. So once we have our chains complete, this is how it should look like. Now what we are going to do is we are going to yarn over and get into the 6th chain stitch from the hook, okay? The 6th. So that means we skip 5 chains and then get into the 6th chain and work a double crochet. Now those chains are going to act as a double crochet and chain 1, okay? So after that, you're going to chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, just like that, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. You see that? Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch. So the mesh is really easy. It's just a 1-step repeat, and I'm going to let you guys work this all the way until the end of your row. Just chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch, and do this all the way until you come to the end of your row, and I'm going to meet you guys there, then show you what to do. So this is how your work should look like once you come to the end of your row. You see that? Now at this point I am going to start my increase because I want to have a curvy hem. So to do that I am going to chain 4, which acts as a double crochet chain 1, just like that. Then I'm going to turn my work, and into the very first stitch I am going to work a double crochet. So this gives me a V. Now when we have a V when working with the mesh stitch, that means we have an increase. And then when we have an inverted V, that means we have a decrease. So I work my double crochet into that very first stitch, then I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, get into the double crochet, the next double crochet of the previous row, and work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. You see that? You see what we have? You can see that we have an increase at the start of our row. And now we are just going to continuously work, skip 1, sorry, we are going to continuously skip 1, chain 1, skip 1, and work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch of the previous row. And do this all the way until you come to the end of your row. That's where I'm going to meet you guys, then show you how to start the next row. So guys, I'm just working the next row with you guys and then explaining what you have to do and what you have to bear in mind working the next rows after that, because this is the mesh stitch and it's very simple, and then I'll let you guys work the rest of the rows on your own. Okay, so do this until the end of your row, then I'm going to get back and show you how to work the next row. So once you finally come to the end of your row, just like this, we are, as you can see, here is where we had our increase. You can see that it's starting to slant, and then when you look this side, it is still straight. So what we are going to do for the next row is we are going to chain 4 and turn our work. Remember, I want to keep the upper side straight and then the lower side slanting like curvy. So the chain 4 acts as a double crochet chain 1, so we skip 1 and then work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch of the previous row, then chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch. So this is what we are going to do. We are just going to work the normal mesh all the way down until we have one mesh box to end our row, one mesh box. Okay, so because we want to keep the upper part straight, we are just going to work our normal mesh stitch, no increases or decreases whatsoever, all the way until right here, until we have one mesh box to end our row right there. Okay, so let me meet you guys there and then I'll show you what to do. So here we are, almost at the end of our row, and we have one mesh box to end our row. It may not be like super visible as yet, but you can see it is right there. Okay, so here to end our row, because we want to have an increase at the end of the row, we are going to chain 1, skip 1, and get into the third chain stitch of the 4 chains of the previous row right there, and we shall work a double crochet. Okay, then chain 1 once again, work a double crochet into that very same stitch. Okay, that means we have worked an increase. So like you can see, we have that increase going on. So what we have done for the previous 2 rows is what we are going to keep doing for the next rows. Okay, just make sure that we keep the upper part straight and then the lower part slanting, like you can see right there. Now to start our next row, we are going to chain 4, which acts as a double crochet chain 1. Okay, and then we turn our work into that very first stitch right there is where we are going to work our double crochet. So once again, we have worked an increase. So that means when we work an increase, when starting this row, that means the next row we are going to work the increase when ending that row. Okay, so after that we are going to chain 1 and skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. Okay, and then you just keep working your mesh until you come to the end of your row. Okay, so just make sure that you have an increase when starting the row and work your mesh until the end, and then after that you work your mesh when ending the row. So just keep repeating these 2 steps for the next rows until you have a total of 8 rows. Okay, until you have 8 rows in total if you're working sizes small to medium. If you're working sizes large, I think you will do that until you have maybe 9 rows or 10, given how wide you want to go. So I'm going to meet you right there. As you can see, we are just working until this point. Then I'm going to meet you right there and then show you how to work the next rows after that. Okay, so guys, here we are. This is how it looks like. I have my slanting side, and then the top of my work is straight, like you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my new color of yarn using the magic knot, and after that I'm going to get started on working the next rows. So don't worry, I'll be cutting the end of my string, the end of my yarn, the ends of my yarn later. Now to get started on the next rows, I am going to chain 4, which acts as a double crochet chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. So I will skip the next stitch and then work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch of the previous row. So right in there is where you work your double crochet. All right, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. Now we are going to just be working our mesh all the way until the end of the row. We are not working any increases or decreases whatsoever. We are just working until the end of our row. So just keep working your mesh. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch until the end of the row right there. That's where I'll meet you and then explain something. So here I am. I'm just here to explain something. So as you can see, when you look at this piece, I had my increase right there until that point. Now for the next 2 panels of these 2 different colors, like you can see, I have 8 rows here, and I worked just the normal mesh stitch, no increases whatsoever. Also for this, no increases whatsoever, just to keep that straight hem. So when you're working the next rows after the row that I have left you guys on, you are going to work for the next color, making sure you have the same number of rows as the previous colors you have been working. And I'm going to let you work all those rows on your own. I have 16 rows right here, so just work them on your own until we get to the decrease. That's where I'm going to get back and show you what to do. Just make sure you have the same number of rows as the colors you have previously been working. So here, like you can see, when you work this row until you come to the end of it right there, you will just chain 4, turn your work the mesh stitch as we have been doing for the next rows and the next rows, then change your color, attach a new color, and then work that the mesh stitch with that color as well until right here. Okay, now this is where I am. I have my 2 colors complete, and it's just the normal mesh. The up and bottom is straight, and right now I am going to be working the decrease so that I have that curve at the bottom, just like I showed you on my previous panel. Okay, so at this point I'm going to keep the upper bit straight so that when I get to the bottom is where I work my decreases so that I have the curve that I'm looking for. So since we want to keep the upper bit straight and then the lower to be curvy right there, we are going to just work our mesh. So here we are going to chain 4. The chain 4 acts as a double crochet chain 1. So we chain 4 and skip one, get into the next double crochet stitch of the previous row and work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. So you do this all the way until you have 2 mesh boxes to end your row. So you're just going to work your mesh, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch until you have 2 mesh boxes to end your row. That's where I'm going to meet you guys, then show you what to do. Okay, so let me let you guys work your row until that point, then I'll meet you there. So here we are, we have 2 mesh boxes to end our row, and what we are going to do to end our row is work a decrease. So we chain 1, yarn over, skip 1, insert our hook into that next double crochet stitch of the previous row, pull through our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, skip 1, get into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row, then pull through our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through all. So that means we work an incomplete double crochet, then skip 1, work an incomplete double crochet as well, then yarn over, oh guys, excuse me, then yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. So that means we have worked an inverted V, and I told you an inverted V is a mesh decrease. Okay, so to start our next row, we are going to chain 3, which acts as a double crochet stitch. So even this time we are working a decrease by chaining 3, because if we weren't working a decrease, we should have chained 4. So we skip 1 and then work a double crochet into that next stitch. Like you can see, it gives us that inverted V. Okay, now chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch. So the way I have worked these previous 2 rows is exactly how you're going to work the next rows from here. So just keep track of what I am doing, because you're going to have to work the next rows on your own. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, and you do this all the way until the end of your row. So I'll meet you guys there and then show you what to do. Okay, so like you can see, I'm going to let you guys work the rest of the rows on your own. What you do is, you see how we have worked the previous 2 rows. You work this until the end right there, and then chain 4, turn your work, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch. Do that until you have 2 mesh boxes like we did here. Then you work a decrease right there. Then the next row, like we did right there, you chain 3, turn your work, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch. So you do that until the number of rows, like you can see, the very first row didn't have a decrease. So we have 2 rows already. That means you're going to work this for the next 5 rows, so that the last row is a normal mesh. So work that until you have the rows to match the number of rows that you have on the previous row where you had an increase. Okay, so this is what we have. This is how my work looks like so far. I worked my decrease, and after working all my rows of the decrease, I then had to work that 1 row of no decrease whatsoever, which we had when we were starting our project. So basically, that's how your work should look like, and make sure you have the same number of rows for every color. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to show you how to work your hem, the hem of your skirt. So what we do is we start from where we ended. Make sure you ended at the bottom. If you didn't, then you have to insert your hook into the very first stitch and pull through a yarn, chain 1, and then start doing what I am about to do. This, we are working at the bottom hem, which is at the hem at the bottom, like where the curve is where we are working this. Okay, so right here we are going to work a single crochet into that we are working along the edge, the curved edge. So you work a single crochet into that very first stitch right there. Then into that double crochet post I am going to work 2 single crochets. Okay, so I'll work another single crochet in there. Then I'm going to get into the bottom or the top of that and I'll work a single crochet in there. Then I'll get into that double crochet post right there and I will work 2 single crochets. Okay, 2 single crochets, then get into the bottom of that next or the top of the next double crochet post, then work a single crochet. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. You see that joint right there is where I work my single crochet. Now I'll get into that double crochet post right there. I'll work my first single crochet, then once again work a single crochet in there, then get into the joint like at the top of the post, in between the top and bottom of that double crochet post, work my other double crochet. If this is confusing to you guys, just work 3 single crochets into every double crochet post. I think that will be easier. Just work 3 single crochets into every double crochet post all the way around that curve until the end of your edge. Okay, just do this until you come to the end of your edge right there, and then I'll get back to show you what to do. Okay, now here we are. We have come to the end of our row and this is how my work looks like so far. Now to work my next row, I'm not going to do anything different apart from what I have been doing. The only difference is this time I'm going to chain 1 and work a single crochet into the very first stitch, and then I'm going to just keep working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of my row. So work 1 single crochet into every stitch until the end of your row. That's where I'm going to meet you guys, then show you what to do. Just keep working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of your row. That's where I'll meet you and show you what to do. So here I am. I have come to the end of my row. This is how my work looks like. And now to get started on the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to chain 7. 4 of the chains act as a treble crochet, and then the 3 are for the chain gap. So we chain 7 and skip 3, get into the next stitch. Okay, chain 7, skip 3, get into that next stitch and work a single crochet right there. Okay, chain 7. After you chain 7, you will skip 1, 2, 3 and then get into that next stitch and work a single crochet. You see that? So you chain 7 once again and skip 3, chain 7, skip 3, get into that next single crochet and work, get into that next stitch and work a single crochet. Now you're just going to keep doing this. Chain 7, skip 3, work a single crochet into the next stitch. Do this all the way until you have 4 stitches to end your row. Do this all the way until you have 4 stitches to end your row right there, and I'll meet you right there just to show you what to do once you have 4 stitches to end your row. Okay, so I'll meet you there and show you what to do. So we are at that point where we are almost at the end of our row, and I am back here to show you what to do and how to end your row. Now I want to end at the top of my chains. So what I will do here is I'm going to chain 3, and I'll yarn over, sorry, I'm going to chain 4, and I'll yarn over twice. I'll skip 3 and get into that last stitch on my previous row. Insert my hook in there and pull through a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all. So that means I've worked more like a treble, and it has like left me at the top of my work. So from here I am going to chain 7, which acts as a treble crochet, chain 3. Okay, so once you have that, you will turn your work, and then I'm going to yarn over twice and get into that very first stitch, then work a treble. So pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all. So that's how you work your treble. Now I'll yarn over twice, and I'm going to skip 7. So that means I'm going to get into the 4th chain stitch of the next 7 chains right there, and I will work my treble, which is pull through twice, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through all. And here I will chain 3, get into that very same stitch and work my treble crochet. So yarn over and work my treble crochet as I should. So this is just to help me create that kind of X effect, like that cross stitch effect. Yeah, if you look closely. Then from here I am going to yarn over twice, and I'm going to skip 7, get into the 4th chain stitch of the next 7 chains, and in there I am going to work a treble crochet. Then yarn over, then chain 3, then work another treble into that very same stitch. So we chain 3 and work a treble crochet into that very same stitch once again. So you see that? Yarn over, skip 7, work a treble crochet into the 4th chain stitch of the next 7 chains right there. Then chain 3, work a treble crochet into that next, chain 3, work a treble crochet into that very same stitch. So this is what you are going to keep repeating all the way until you are almost at the end of your row, and that's where I'll meet you to show you what to do. Okay, you're just going to skip 7, work a treble into the 4th chain stitch of the next 7 chains, and then chain 3, work a treble crochet into that very same stitch once again, and then do that repeatedly until you are at the last until you get to the last chain 7 gap. That's where I'll meet you guys then, show you how to end your row. Okay, so here we are we are going to yarn over, we are going to yarn over, skip 7, get into that 4th chain stitch of the last chain gap, and then we work a treble crochet. So that's how you end your row, guys. As simple as that. That's how you end your row. Now the next row, I'm just going to be working my single crochets just like I did right here, and then we shall get on the next thing. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to chain one, turn my work. So here I am going to work a single crochet into that very first stitch, then into the chain gap I'm going to work 3 single crochets. Okay, then into that next stitch I will work a single crochet, and into that I work a single crochet, then get into the chain gap, work. Actually for me in the chain gap I was working 4 single crochets, but to make things easier for you, you could work 3, then get into that next treble stitch. What I did was I was working 4 into the chain gap and then working 1 single crochet into the 2 trebles. Okay, so that means I would skip 1 treble crochet and then work a single crochet into the next. But to make things understandable for you guys, just work 3 single crochets into the chain gap and then work a treble, a single crochet into the treble and another single crochet into the next treble. Okay, I think that's simpler. So you do that until you come to the end of your row right there. Okay, then I'll meet you guys there and then show you what to do. Oh yeah, when you work this until the end of your row, you're just going to follow the very same steps that we have followed to get here to work your second piece. This is how your first piece should look like once you come to the end of it. So follow the very same steps to work your second piece so that we have 2 of these. Okay, and once we have 2 of these, what is left is to join the 2. Okay, and then we have a skirt. So these are my 2 pieces all together, one on top of the other. I just made sure that the colors don't match. I kind of turned the other in out so that the colors are kind of like different, like you can see, but that's how it looks like, and this is how it should look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to join one side and then you will join the other side on your own. So here I'm going to get into the last stitches on both sides, but I'm starting from bottom up towards the upper bit. So just from where I stopped is where I'm going to kick off. I'll get my hook and insert my hook into the last stitch of this front piece, and then pull through the loop of the back just like that, and I'll chain 1 right there, work a single crochet into that very same stitch. Now what I'm going to do is this is a treble crochet post, so I'm going to chain 4. Okay, someone is opening the gate, so it's kind of making noise. If it's going through and you guys are hearing it, I'm sorry for that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the bottom of that treble crochet post and work a single crochet on both on both pieces. Then once again, since we have a treble as well here, we are going to chain 4 and then insert my hook into the bottom of that next treble and on both pieces and work a single crochet. Then here we have single crochet posts, so I insert my hook into the first single crochet post on both pieces and pull through my yarn, work a single crochet, and then once again, remember we had 2 rows of single crochets, but now here I am going to get into the very first stitch right there and work my single crochet. Then now, because I have the mesh stitch, I'm going to chain 1, get into that next double crochet stitch also then the double crochet stitch on the other side, insert my hook, pull through and work a single crochet, chain one, skip one on both sides and also onto that side as well. Get into the double crochets on both pieces and pull through, work a single crochet. So this is what you are going to do all the way until you get to the top of your work. You just chain one, skip one, a single crochet into the next double crochet stitches on both pieces, pull through, work a single crochet. So do this all the way until the end of your work, and then you're going to use the very same method we have used to join this side. You'll use it to join the other side as well, okay? So that when I get back, it is just adding our drawstring to our waist and then fringes to the bottom of our hem, to the bottom of our work. So do that very same thing right here to join this side as well, and then I'll get back to show you what to do next, okay? So I have already added my drawstring to the top of my work. I just added if you have watched my shorts tutorial, you already know how to add your drawstring. But yes, this is how my work looks like. That's how the seam came out. Now I'm just going to be adding fringes to the bottom of my work, and that's what I'm going to show you. The drawstring is passed through the very first row of the mesh all the way around your entire waist, and then you tie it together to draw your waist together. So I'm going to get a bundle of 6 strands, fold them, and then get my hook to the top of that loop, insert it through that chain gap, pull through the loop through that very same loop, and then pull the yarn ends to fasten the fringes. So I am doing this for every chain gap at the bottom of my project, okay? So once again, I'm going to get 6 strands of 6 strands of yarn, get into that chain gap, pull through the loop of the yarn strands, and then pull them through that loop and fasten them to get my fringes worked properly. So this is what I'm going to do exactly all the way for all the chain gaps that we have on the bottom of our project, okay? So I'll get into that next just like that and do the very same thing all the way around until I come to the end of my row for the fringes, okay? So just do that all the way around, and there you have your skirt complete. So thank you so much guys for watching, and also for those that have been watching all my other mesh stitch projects, thank you so much. So I'll see you all in my next tutorial. Thank you so much. Goodbye.